Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time to do Taroscopes again. We're going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Scorpio. That's Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising for the month of October 2025. Before we get started, I just want to welcome my new subscribers. Welcome to this wonderful community of like-minded souls, to my tried and true who have been with me for years. You know I love you guys, and I really appreciate your continued support. For my new members to my YouTube channel, welcome. There is more fun to come with a few more adorables in the basket of adorables, and well, we have a lot of deplorables. We'll just have to pick which one is the most this month. All right. And for my Patreon folks, thank you so much for your continued support. You've been supporting me for years, allowing me to do my work, allowing me to spread the light. I really do appreciate you. And yeah, it's great. All right. So let's get started. We're going to look at the astrology for the month first, quickly, and then we will look at how it affects your sign, Scorpio. So I just need to find, all right, here we go. All right. So let's get to the beginning here. All right, so we're looking at October. Just as a reminder, we are in a 9 universal year, separating the wheat from the chaff. 9 is a vibration of healing. It's a vibration of understanding, unconditional love, and sharing your light. We have the the hermit here holding up his lantern. His lantern is his wisdom. We're in the 10th month, so we move to a new monthly vibration of the 10. The 10 in the tarot is the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune is always about change. So for those who are at the top of the heap, perhaps they will find themselves at the bottom. And for those who feel they're at the bottom, perhaps they'll find themselves at the top. We're all in some level of rising up or falling down just to rise up again. And the key to this energy is to allow ourselves to be centered within the changes that we see and we experience, and poised in our own sense of groundedness and purity of heart. When we add these two vibrations together, we get a third vibration, which would be the specific vibration for the month of October 2025, and that is a 19. The 10 and the 9 equals 19. 19-1 is the sun card. So the sun is about full illumination. So something is going to be illuminated. The path that the sun sits on the tree of life is actually the path of emotional intelligence. So really coming to a sense of what you're feeling and why you're feeling the way you're feeling and putting words to that. Um, all right, so let's take a look at the month. The month starts off pretty active. We had a very active September, and I think that there'll still be some of that September energy sort of spilling over and spilling out, especially to the beginning of October, where we have an expansion of information with Mercury square Jupiter. We have Mercury ingress into Scorpio. That's your sign. But Scorpio is having a little bit of an issue with the other planets in the sky. As Mercury ingresses into Scorpio, the first thing that happens to it is it inconjuncts Neptune. And then it will inconjunct Uranus and square Pluto. So what's happening is Mercury in Scorpio is in the crosshairs of a yod that is occurring between Neptune and Uranus, and then also at the same time being square to Pluto. Pluto is in Aquarius. Mercury is in Scorpio. This is the last quarter crisis in consciousness square. So we feel the need to rebel. Now, rebellion is not a new theme because we had plenty of rebellion in September. So we'll see that that continues as October opens up. On the 7th, no, I said that. On the 8th, we have a beautiful sextile between Venus and Jupiter. This eases things up a bit. Both Venus and Jupiter are considered benefic or helpful energies. And it's a opening sextile, so it opens the lines of communication. And we really do need to talk to each other instead of talk at each other. And this will help with that, I believe. On the 11th of October, Venus makes an opposition to Saturn. Venus is fun, and Saturn is the veritable wet blanket. And so you'll probably see just how much fun you can have before that you put a stop to it or somebody puts a stop to it. And then a few days later, once it's gotten beaten up a little bit by Saturn, Venus ingresses into Libra. Now, Venus is the ruling planet of Libra, and so it's powerful in Libra. It likes being in Libra, and it could use the rest. Quite frankly, as it ingresses into Libra, it will make an opposition to Neptune, which is still at that first degree of Aries. Um, Pluto will station direct. This all happens on the 13th. The Venus ingress into Libra, Venus opposing Neptune, and then Pluto stationing at 2 degrees of Aquarius, an unexpected thunderstorm. So there's been a lot of thunderstorms, and this one's unexpected. So be aware. Um, it really, with Pluto changing direction, it always pulls up a lot of power, and the fact that the Sabian symbol for that is unexpected thunderstorm. We can expect something coming thundering back, perhaps. And what I think might come thundering back is the divine feminine energy and the power of the feminine. As Venus makes a trine to Uranus and a trine to Pluto, Uranus and Pluto are in a trine to each other at this time, and Venus makes three. Venus makes three. And so we have a grand trine in air with Venus, Uranus, and Pluto. There's nothing getting in the way of changing. So this is actually an easy time to change your values, actually, and perhaps, hopefully, in a more progressive direction. On Friday the 17th, the sun makes a square to Jupiter. We have to watch we don't overextend ourselves on that day. On the 19th, Mercury conjoins Mars. Mercury is the planet of the mind. Mars is the planet of action. They're on the same page at the 20th degree of Scorpio. Mars likes being in Scorpio, so it's pretty powerful here. And the Sabian symbol for that 20 degrees of Scorpio. So remember, this is mind and action, right? What's in our head, we're doing it, right? There's nothing between what goes in our head and the action that we take. Woman draws away 2 dark curtains, closing an entrance to a sacred pathway. Faith in the future, faith in the future. And we need to really stand in faith. Um, pretty much till at least next year. Till at least next year. On the 20, excuse me, on the 21st, we have a new moon at 29 degrees of Libra. And the Sabian symbol, involvement in humanity's evolution of wisdom. Now, I like that because we certainly need that. We take from our ancestors and pass to our descendants, and thus co create the flowing and flowering of knowledge. Remember, we're in a 9 year. It's time to share, shine your light. It's time to share your wisdom. Speak to your children, speak to your grandchildren, speak to your friends, speak to a stranger on the bus, talk to people and get a vibe, right? Get a vibe and see, be careful because some people are, ready to attack if you say the wrong thing to them. But you can feel it out. You're a Scorpio. You know where danger lurks and where it doesn't. So utilize those spidey senses that you have. On the 22nd of October, Neptune, which has been in Aries since I believe April or May. Maybe it was March. It's been in Aries for a while, and it's been really crazy. Now it moves back into Pisces, where it's going to be until the beginning of next year. Then it's going to move back into Aries, and it's going to stay in Aries for about 14 years, and won't be back into Pisces for another 150 years. So we're all done with Neptune and Pisces. It's been in Pisces since 2011. So it's been there a long time, and Neptune is sort of in the background kind of energy, but that Pisces energy is about the oceans and it's about our connectedness. As Neptune goes through this, and it stays in the last degree of Pisces. It's going to go back into Pisces. It's going to be in the last degree of Pisces. It's going to turn direct in the last degree of Pisces. It's going to go direct and then move out of Pisces and go into Aries. And then in February, it's going to meet up with Saturn for real. They've been very close. They've been as close as you can get without touching. It's like the sister and the brother. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. And they have their finger like inches from your face. You can feel the heat off their finger. And you're saying, don't touch me, I'm not touching you, right? That whole thing. That was Neptune and Neptune and Saturn. But when they come around in February, they're touching. And that's going to touch off a whole new level of consciousness. So we have to ready for that. And so with Neptune moving through Pisces now, we're going to be sweeping up just a couple of more things that we have to deal with around issues of healing and love and humanitarianism and victims and victimizers. Something that I would prefer not to have to uh, be a thought form in my head, right? Be a thought form in my head. Um, the day that Neptune ingresses back into Pisces, the Sun will in conjunct Neptune because the Sun is actually at the last degree of Libra, and then it moves into Scorpio. So the Sun is going to move into your sign on the 22nd. But as when every planet moves into those initial degrees, it can be a little bit rough. So we're going to have the Sun make an in conjunct to Uranus, your Sun in Scorpio. So if your birthday is around these Scorpio dates, Scorpio, then these aspects will be prominent in your solar return chart. The Sun in conjunct Uranus asks us to make some adjustments in our ego. In order to free us and to open us up to something new and different and exciting, perhaps, but perhaps a little scary as well. On Friday, the 24th, the Sun makes a last quarter square to Pluto. This is part of the Pluto Sun synodic cycle, and that began. Um, it's about a year-long cycle, so it began. Let's see. I should be able to do this. Three. 3 months, 3 months, about 9 months ago. Oh, baby. That's right, a baby. And now it's at that last quarter crisis in consciousness square. We're questioning authority. Um, we're questioning authority and moving in a more progressive direction. I think we could have a number of people losing faith in leadership. Now, those of us who follow this channel know how much faith I have in the current leadership. So it probably won't be us, but other people perhaps will lose faith in leadership, and maybe us too. I mean, we do have leaders, and some of them are doing great things, and others are just sitting on their hands. So we'll see what happens with that. We also have Mercury make a trine to Jupiter. We had the month start with the square, and now it's the trine. So things have eased out. Our mind is eased out. We're sort of flowing in a way where we weren't flowing at the beginning of the month. I feel like we were still in a little bit of PTSD from September. On the 25th, Mercury will make a trine to Saturn. That stabilizes the mind. Mars makes a trine to Jupiter. That can be a little bit problematic depending on how well you are with your Mars. As a Scorpio, it's good for you because you can get your energy. Your energy is easily expanded. That's happening on the 28th. On the 29th, Mercury trines Neptune and then enters Sagittarius. So Mercury at the end of the month moves into Sagittarius. It was in Libra, it was in Scorpio, and at the end of the month it's in Sag. It just came out of its retrograde when it was in Leo for about 2 months. And so you'll see it sort of like is slow in the retrograde. It'll spend 6 weeks in a sign instead of 2 weeks in a sign. And then when it starts to come out of that retrograde, it like blows through 3 signs. So things go pretty quickly with Mercury. Let's see. And then we have Mercury trine Neptune. Mercury enters Sag. I said that. Mercury opposing Uranus. Uranus is at the first degree of Gemini still. It is going to move back into Taurus next month, but it's still in Gemini as the month ends. And on Thursday, the 30th, we have a sextile between Mercury and Pluto, with Pluto in Aquarius, Mercury in Sag. This is opening the lines of communication, but moving in a more progressive direction. So I feel like the beginning of the month, we're still in quite a bit of confusion and kerfuffle from the month before. Things start to change and shift. It's not going to be an easy month. There's no such thing as an easy month anymore. But as we end the month and start to move into November, I think we're going to get our feet under us and feel a little bit more secure in a very insecure time. So if we can get there and we understand that, in this 10-1 vibration, we have to appreciate that life is a story of constant change, and there are certain changes you can't do anything about, but how you wish to respond to them. So let's keep our eyes on how we're responding to these changes. So let's take a look at you, Scorpio, just specifically, and see how this affects your chart. Um, Here's Mars starting the month in your first house. It's going to be in your first house all month. Mars moves only through Scorpio this month. And Mars likes being in your sign. It is one of your co-ruling signs. So it is a good energy. It's a good vibration. Um, the sun starts the month in your 12th house when it's in Libra, as does Mercury and Venus. Oh, actually, Venus starts the month in Virgo, but quickly moves into Libra and likes being in Libra, right? Venus likes being in Libra. It's going to make that trine to Uranus, that trine to Saturn. We have a grand trine with Venus here, and a grand trine with the Sun. Wait, let's see. Is the Sun? No, the grand trine would have already happened. So this is just a Venus grand trine with Saturn and Uranus, and it's hitting all your water houses. So it is stimulating our relationships, both water, which is the houses that it's hitting, and air, which is the signs that are getting activated, are relative signs. We relate with air, we relate with water. You yourself are a water sign, and so you understand that. And so it is really about relationship for you, Scorpio. All right. Mercury starts in the 12th house, moves into Scorpio in that first house. You can declare yourself at that point with Mercury moving through your first house, and then at the end of the month, slips into the second house, the house of resources. Here's Pluto down here in your fourth house. It's going to be there for a long time. Fourth house is the house of soul. Scorpio is the sign of soul, and Pluto is the soul. So it's a very soulful next, like, 18 years for you, Scorpio. Here's Saturn in Pisces, moved back into Pisces on September 1st. And boy, has it been creating havoc since. But anyway, it's going through Pisces. It's going to go all the way back, I think the 25th or 26th degrees of Pisces before it goes direct, and then eventually moves out of Pisces and into Aries, and won't be back in Pisces for another like 27 years. So if we're lucky enough to live that long, we might see Saturn in Pisces. But as it moves through Pisces now, this month moving retrograde, going over some stuff. When it goes direct, it's going to go back over those degrees. And this is the time when we're really cleaning out our karmic closet. And for you, Scorpio, it is about romance. It is about family. It is about creative self-expression. So if there are any things left unsaid or undone, this is the time to deal with it. Neptune starts the month in Aries, and then of course on the 22nd, I think, moves back into Pisces, where it's going to stay at that 30th degree, pretty much going backwards, then moving forward in that fifth house. It's been in there since 2011. So you've kind of got used to it being in there. It's going to be moving back into your sixth house at the beginning of next year, and you're going to have it there for 14 years. And so you're going to have to, you will deal with that. We have the full moon here in Aries, activating the axis of healing. The 10th house, I'm sorry, the sixth house where the moon is physical healing. Where the sun is spiritual healing, and then we have the new moon in Libra, 29th degree of Libra, right in your 12th house, starting a new relationship with spirit, perhaps, right? New mysteries, new communication with your guides. Uranus stations is still retrograde, moving through your eighth house. Maybe some surprises with taxes and stuff, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And then we have Jupiter, the planet of expansion, in the house of long distance travel. So as Jupiter moves through the ninth house, long distance travel is an opportunity for you, Scorpio. And here we have the Sun card from the Light Seers deck, and we see there's illumination and information coming from the Sun. So we can expect, and for you, the information comes through your dreams and then comes through your physical body. So you're going to be having dreams and then feeling things in your body to see what illumination is being offered to you. All right, that's the story. Now, let me just start the share here. Okay, so I'm going to use, this is my giblets bag, with his little tail, little piggy tail. We're going to use the Modern Spellcasters deck. I love this deck for Scorpio. It really vibes well with Scorpio. So let's see what the deck has to say. These will be timestamped, so you can go back and forth. All right. In case you want to go over the astrology, or you want to just go over the card reading, or you want to just go to the card reading. Nice shuffle. And then I'm going to be picking a crystal card. See what crystal comes up for you. But let's not jump the gun here. Bad choice of words, probably. All right, one more. Feel like, how much isn't too much? No such thing. All right. All right, let's see what we got. We start with the Hierophant. So this is about how things are put together. Now, this could be a governmental card, so there could be some issues with the government, or perhaps you work for the government. Um, it's like there are rules that you have to pay attention to. You start the month with the realization that whether you like it or not, there are some things that you're going to have to abide by. What's crossing that? We have the Knight of Pentacles. You're feeling a little bit, the Knight of Pentacles is about securing your resources, and you may feel as a challenge card that perhaps the government is not working to your benefit. You know, there may be maybe your local taxes go up or something like that. You're going to feel a little stretched. And you're going to feel like it's the government's fault. Yeah, at the bottom of the deck, I mean, at the bottom of the reading, we have the Two of Pentacles. So you're really just trying to figure out how to balance your resources this month. In the past, we have the Six of Pentacles. You could have been getting help, or you could have been helping others with their resources. This is about balancing the scales, paying your debts, people indebted to you, or you indebted to people. A lot of pentacles. In the sky, we have the Tower. Now, the sky can be a message from spirit, or it can be the outer world. Either way, if this is a message from spirit, it's telling you to be your authentic self. Remember that you are spirit having a human experience. if this isn't a message from spirit, this is the outside world and the tower is coming down. So there's going to be quite a bit of chaos in the outer world. We have the Eight of Cups as the card for the month. This is, we can see that this person has all these cups. There's one cup still full. Everything else is pretty much done and over with. So something is almost done. Something is almost over. It is an emotional energy. You put a lot of effort and a lot of emotion into something, and it's just about ready. Where actually, if you wanted to walk away from it, even if it didn't seem completely done or that there was one more thing you could have done, you could still walk away from it. If it is not supporting you, if you feel like your spirit is getting sucked out of your body and that it's not helpful, then it is time to move on. It is time to move on. There is some issues around abandonment with this, so you may be afraid to abandon a situation. Um, Or somebody could be abandoning you, like you're almost done with this and somebody walks away. Understand that any walking away really has to do with how spiritually fulfilling things are, either for you or the other person. How it's seen from the outside, the Ace of Swords, you are seen as somebody who stands up for justice and is not afraid to cut away that which no longer serves. Okay, you're not taking no prisoners, no prisoners, guys. Your domestic situation. There's the justice. There's justice. Does she have the sword in her hand? She actually has a pomegranate in her hand, interestingly enough. But this is the sword that she would normally carry. So we can put those together. Justice is coming. Justice is coming. So a balancing of the scales domestically. Things are going to balance out for you. Hopes and fears. Lunacy. I know you ain't hoping for it. This was the card for last month. This was the actual card that symbolized last month. So more of the same. You're worried about that? Yeah, well, in the beginning it may feel that way, but as the month progresses, you'll start to pull out of that, I think. Uh, Outcome, the Ten of Wands. You have a lot of burdens, and you're going to have to figure out what burdens you want to let go of. Do you have to carry all of this? Is it necessary? With this card asking if it's necessary, and this card saying you can move away from things that are not spiritually fulfilling. This can be a month of goodbyes for you to certain situations, to certain people. Let's see if we can pull a major arcana within three. We have the Knight of Wands. That could be travel. The Nine of Swords, anxiety. Who wouldn't have anxiety right about now? And the Hanged Man. So we did get a major arcana, and it's the Hanged Man. And this always says, see what you can look around, see what you have control over and what you don't. What you don't have control over, you need to let go and let God. And what you do, which is only your ability to respond and be open to the promptings of spirit, because the hanged man hangs upside down with his head in the great cosmic sea. Um, Utilize the time well to look at the world from a different perspective. It's important that you look at the world from a different perspective. I feel like these cards are indicating that, you've done your due diligence. You've really been uh, tried to do the best for yourself and the people around you. But there are things that you're hanging on to that you no longer need to hang on to. And I think this is going to be a month when you decide what comes and what goes. All right, let's see what's underneath. We have the Emperor. This is um, this is becoming the captain of your own ship, being in charge of your life. The Sun, which is the illumination, and the Seven of Wands, which is courage. So underneath it is taking control and taking your agency. This is about taking your agency and having the courage to even maybe stand out a little bit more, maybe less, behind the scenes. Maybe it's time for you to move into your leadership role because all of these three cards deal with leadership. Um, and so you have to see where where your resources lie. And resources aren't just money, resources can be health. So this might be a health issue for you. Anything that takes you away from feeling good or being on, whatever you're doing is making you unhealthy, it has to stop. It has to stop. You have to choose something different. All right, that's the story. All right, let's pull a crystal card, and this will wrap this up. This will give us one more little nuance to the month. All right, let me just give this a good shuffle. This is called the Crystal Ally deck. The crystals are um, they're either connected to air, earth, water, fire, or storm. Storm is sort of the ether element in this deck. Okay, Scorpio, Scorpio, Scorpio. Show me, Scorpio. Show me, Scorpio. What do we got? Bloodstone, courage, courage. I actually have bloodstone right here. So this is a perfect stone for you. This is a bloodstone or a globe, I guess. What do they call these? Circle, roundy things. And there is a thing that if you lose bloodstone, you lose money. So if you have bloodstone, make sure you keep it really close because it's a good money stone. It's also about courage. It's about wanting to step forward into your leadership with the strength and the help and the protection. This is an earth element card, so this is you having your feet firmly on the ground as you forward with your shield of protection, and your courage to move forward in the direction that you need to go. So if you need a little courage, instead of like drinking it like some people do, get a little bit of bloodstone. It's not that expensive. It's a pretty reasonable stone. You can also get bloodstone um, bracelet. I do not have bloodstone on. Although actually, there may be a little bloodstone in this one. But they do even have bloodstone bracelets, and I think mine was like $12 or $15. They're not that expensive. So bloodstone, good stone for you this month. All right, guys, let me put this little guy back. Doesn't roll off my altar. All right, guys, have yourself a great month. You got to do it. You gotta cut some ties. Once you do, you'll feel reinvigorated and you'll be wondering why it took you so long. But everything in its time. The ultimate um, function or the ultimate like destination for Scorpio is to let go and let God. So have faith. Have faith. All right, guys, have yourself a great month. I'll see you again next month in November. Until then, take care of yourself. It's calming down a bit, I think, this month. I could be wrong about that, but I feel like it's going to calm down a little bit from last month, but you still need to keep your eyes open. But Scorpios, you were born with your eyes open. So, and there's my Scorpio painting, and it's a big eye. So when you look deep within, what do you see? You see your own soul. And the eyes are where the soul is found. Maybe it's a good month to do a little bit of mirror gazing into your own eyes and see what comes back to you. All right. Take care, everyone. I'll see you again next month. Namaste.